Some have called it the Funhouse Dungeon. Some have called it insane. Some have called it illogical. Me, I call it the first real dungeon I ever played, and a dungeon I have always loved. So today we're going to take a look at White Plume Mountain from 1st edition. So as I said, White Plume Mountain is the first real dungeon I ever played in D&D way back in the day. It was the first dungeon that really had anything going for it. It was very memorable too. It's one of those dungeons that once you go through it, it sticks with you. It's fun. There are odd puzzles. There is strange occurrences, and all around it's. You know, again, people have called it a fun house. I called it just a good dungeon. Now, for those of you who are unaware, the long and short of the story is that 3 artifacts have been stolen. You have been hired by the higher level characters to go retrieve them. Now, again, a lot of people point out, why are they hiring people out for this? Well, that is a suspicious reason. And in the middle of all this, a wizard who has been dead for hundreds of years is apparently saying, nope, he's alive and he's the one who stole those weapons. Which leads to a series of odd traps, strange things, and stuff I don't think I've ever seen in D&D since, and showed to me the level of creativity you can go to with D&D. Now, White Plume Mountain itself, I'm not going to give you everything, but I'm going to give you some really good stuff. One of the things I've noticed when I go searching for White Plume Mountain, I did this with Tomb of Horrors too before I reviewed it. There's very few videos on White Plume Mountain. There's a lot on Tomb of Horrors, but there's only a few on White Plume Mountain, which kind of surprised me. White Plume Mountain is a very fun dungeon. It's a very different dungeon. It's a dungeon I would think would be more accessible to people in even in today's standards. Yeah, there's some traps that, wait, I don't get a save, but there's a reason why you don't get a save either. This was the other one that was adapted to 5e in Tales from the Yawning Portal. I really have never read over the 5e version, and that's something I intend to remedy. My next video might be a review of the 5e version. I'm contemplating that. This version, however, is the 1st edition version, which I love. So, some of the things I really thought was were some really good parts. The quite random turnstile in the middle of the dungeon. I always wondered about that. What is this doing here? There's also a room that has flesh golems. You have to figure out which one will lead you to where you need to go. There is a trick to it. If you pick the wrong one, it will try to kill you. There's a giant crab and a bladder in the lake inside of the dungeon. There's a totally 100% frictionless floor where you can slide into a pit and get basically an advanced form of tetanus and die. No cure, no nothing. It's not pretty. Those are some things I vividly remember from White Plume Mountain. Now, the reason they call it White Plume Mountain is that there is a natural spring that pours into a lava pit. This has many different results. One of the biggest is, of course, this constant white plume of steam coming out of the top of the mountain. Another effect is that the lake inside of the mountain is superheated. I mean, it's really hot. You don't want to touch that water. It will burn you. But the water, this also creates a very damp atmosphere in the dungeon. And almost the whole dungeon is covered in about anywhere from 3 inches to maybe a little more, maybe up to your knees, so almost a foot of water. Which makes it for an interesting situation too. Now there is a way to drain it out. I'm not going to tell you where it's at. But, you know, often you're slogging through the water, and that does affect how you fight and how you move. So that is another unique feature of White Plume. In the end, this is one of the adventures I love to run. It's also one of the adventures I love to play. I can't play it now because I know all its secrets. I know everything about it, and I could walk through it very easily with the right character. But I'll still run it sometimes with people, especially newer players who don't quite get D&D. And I've got a little conversion up to third edition, and I've got a little conversion up to 5th edition. Thankfully those are easier conversions now than they used to be. I have my own way of converting, by the way. So anyway, that's it for Infinite Realms today. Hope you enjoyed this retrospective, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.